Years ago, 4 cousins, Jack, Emily, Ryan, and Chloe, lived in different cities across America. They ranged in age from 15 to 18 and were as close as siblings despite the miles between them. Their grandmother lived alone in a small village, her home nestled near an ancient cemetery. The cemetery was 800 years old and the largest in the state, stretching endlessly with rows of graves, shadowy trees, and a chilling legend surrounding a well in its center. When winter vacation came, the cousins decided to visit their grandmother together. They had heard eerie tales about the cemetery and were curious to explore it. They made a plan. Once their grandmother went to sleep, they would sneak out and find the mysterious well. The night finally came. The clock struck 11 and the house was silent. One by one, they crept out of their beds and gathered by the back door. Jack whispered, "Remember, no loud noises. We can't wake Grandma." Everyone nodded, and together they slipped into the cold, dark night. As they approached the cemetery, the towering iron gate loomed before them. It was over 500 years old, its rusted surface covered in ivy and cobwebs. The gate creaked loudly as Jack pushed it open, sending shivers down their spines. "It's just the wind," Emily said, trying to calm herself. They entered the cemetery, guided only by the dim glow of the moon. Rows of gravestones stretched endlessly in every direction. The air was cold, and the silence was broken only by the crunch of leaves under their feet. After walking for a while, Ryan suddenly stopped. "Guys, I think we should go back," he said nervously. "This place doesn't feel right." "Don't chicken out now," Chloe said. "We're almost there." But they weren't. The well was farther than they had imagined. As they pressed on, they heard a faint noise coming from the right, a soft, eerie sound, like a whisper carried by the wind. "Did you hear that?" Jack asked, his voice trembling. They turned toward the sound, but when they looked, there was nothing there. Uneasy but determined, they continued their journey. The night seemed to grow darker, and the air colder with every step. Then, a shadow appeared in the distance. "Look, someone's coming!" Ryan exclaimed, pointing ahead. The cousins panicked and ducked behind a row of graves. A group of figures passed close by, their footsteps crunching on the frosty ground. The cousins held their breath until the strangers disappeared into the darkness. "I don't think we should do this anymore," Emily whispered. "Let's go back." Reluctantly, they agreed and turned around. But after walking for what felt like hours, they realized they were lost. The path they had taken earlier was gone, swallowed by the endless maze of gravestones. Panic set in, and Ryan began to cry. "Don't cry," Chloe said, though her voice wavered. "We'll find our way back." They tried to retrace their steps, turning left, then right, but nothing looked familiar. Suddenly they heard another noise, a low, guttural moan coming from deep within the cemetery. Terrified, they started running in random directions, their hearts pounding in their chests. "Wait," Jack shouted, pointing to a gravestone. "I remember this. We came from that way." The others followed him, hope returning as the surroundings grew more familiar. After what felt like an eternity, they found the gate. As they stumbled out of the cemetery, tears streamed down their faces. "Thank God," Emily whispered, her voice shaky. Back at their grandmother's house, they vowed never to return to the cemetery. But questions haunted them. Who were the people in the cemetery? What made those terrifying noises? And most chilling of all, what secrets did the well in the center hold? To this day, the cousins remember that night with a mix of fear and unanswered mystery. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.